Hello again, everyone. Edwin Learnard back once again. In this YouTube astrological segment, I am going to be talking about 29 degrees of Virgo. Now, this does apply and pertain to the Sun, Moon, and Ascendant. Anyway, well, first off, 29 degrees can represent the full culmination of a zodiac sign. This could give very amplified and intensified energy of the zodiac sign Virgo, and could really strongly amplify and expand meticulous, judgmental, critical, health conscious qualities. The person may be supremely scrupulous, industrious, hardworking. Could be he or she may be very exceptionally worrisome as well, and a lot of pensive energy. Now, there may be worrying to an extreme. This person may be everything but a compulsive worrier, if that does exist, but you understand what I'm saying. Now, given again, a 29 degrees of a zodiac sign can give strong procrastination, I believe, since we're talking about the very end of the sign. Now, I see this as the inveterate procrastinator degree. This could also be a person, when you're talking about 29 degrees, this could be a degree of upheaval and crisis. It could be connected with incessant worrying as opposed to taking action on things. Now, this could be really constant worrying about various things Virgo relates, such as health matters, things pertaining to work, employment, service to others, and maybe even receiving service. Now, this could be also, too, there may be many upheavals and changes and fluctuations in one's employment as well. There could be this incessant, nearly perpetual worrying about one thing after another. But on the positive end, this could also give very prodigious and powerful analytical ability, but may have a propensity to overanalyze things. Could also be a person that may be everything but a compulsive complainer. Now, it could also be somebody that may be very germophobic and may really take health precautions to an extreme. It's almost be like the Howie Mandel, I call it syndrome in a way. No offense to him. I'm sure he's a really good guy, game show host. But, he's one of those people. I don't think he has Virgo prominent in his chart. But he's like does things, I think, like takes paper towels on the bathroom, grabs a paper towel and grabs the bathroom door with it, like he's in a public restroom. I don't think he shakes heads. This could be somebody that might take germs, really aversion to germs to an extreme. Now, the thing about this could be somebody that really is just trying to assimilate too much data and overkill, so to speak, with the details. Now, this could be, when you look at this, as far as Sabian symbols go, 29 degrees Virgo could indicate somebody that really is about puts a lot of studious energy in seclusion, and there might be an affinity for astrological, supernatural, occult subjects, and one may be very proficient in them. Now, others may count on this person to do a multitude of things for them, and the person may have very supreme integrity and may also be exceptionally ethical. Now, let's say if this is the Ascendant, this could intensify perhaps many health issues in crisis with the health in the physical body. It could be the person might have ongoing problems with intestines, the abdomen, digestive system, and could even have some psychosomatic issues going on as well. And this could be a lot of issues connected with excessive worrying, perhaps about matters connected with the physical body, since the Ascendant is connected with that. Now, let's say if this is the Moon at 29 degrees Virgo, this might manifest in perhaps exceptionally critical, judgmental responses to others. And it could really, you look at this, and also, let's say if this is the Sun. Now, if this is the Sun at 29 degrees Virgo, excessive worry may take the toll perhaps on the vitality as well, or maybe doing too much over analysis on things. And really, now, let's say, this could be the house that this falls in, of course, could impact the delineation. So let's say, okay, of course, the ascendant is the first house, but let's say if this is the sun or the moon at 29 degrees Virgo, let's say it falls in the 8th house. Now, this could be, if you have 29 degrees Virgo, sun or moon in the 8th house, this could be somebody that might have very prodigious ability for, say, analytical psychology, or even, doing something where there could be or astrological ability, where you could be have very acute attention to details, or even psychology, where you might have very acute attention to details, be very punctilious with details in the process. Now, of course, the aspects to this placement could have an effect on the interpretation as well. Now, let's say with predominantly good aspects, well, the positive energy of the degree may be more emphasized and accentuated. Now, however, if you have mainly adverse aspects to this, it could be you could bring out a lot more of the negative energy, more this critical, judgmental, worrisome energy may come out, and it might be somebody that might be, maybe over analysis may be coming out strongly. Now, let's say if you have, let's take a specific aspect as an example. Let's say that you have you have this 29 degrees of Virgo, and it makes a sextile or trine to Pluto in your chart. Well, this might accentuate ability, perhaps for blending this amplified ability for being very punctilious with details into something Pluto related, blending with something connected, maybe the occult, supernatural, astrology, investigation, something connected with death, such as coroner work or embalming. And this could be very auspicious for that. Now, however, let's say this makes an adverse aspect to Neptune. Let's say you have 29 degrees Virgo in the sun, moon, or ascendant, and it makes a square in conjunct or opposition to Neptune in your natal chart. Now, this could give perhaps very prodigious, perhaps germophobic energy, or some hypochondria issues in some cases, and could even be very imagined illnesses. In a lot of cases, imagined health issues. Now, and perhaps worries that just simply may not exist. And you're talking 29 degrees of this energy, so this could really be distorted and amplified energy. Now, if we're talking about, say, let's go to predictive astrology. Now, let's say, this could end 29 degrees Virgo could signify the end of some kind of employment or work situation, or some service rendered for somebody. If it was, say, let's say that you had transit the transit sun at 29 degrees Virgo in your 4th house. This could be perhaps the end or culmination or completion, perhaps service rendered to some home or family member, or someone that you simply felt at home with. Now, and it could also be, when you have 29 degrees Virgo in predictive astrology, it could also be a health issue that required really, that was really maybe trying to deal with, required a lot of laborious effort. It could come to an end at this time, or maybe even identifying a health problem that really took some kind of painstaking attention to detail and took a lot of analysis to determine and ascertain might come to an end. Now, I'm going to talk about a celebrity that has likely has 29 degrees Virgo sun in his natal chart, depending on birth time, actor Scott Baio. Now, many of you may have heard, Scott Baio, was real. I believe I would say his claim to fame when he was on Happy Days, and I think there was like a spin-off, Joni Loves Cha-Cha, he was on. But anyway, there were some allegations that I guess you could say were resurrected or resurfaced by actress Nicole Eggert, and she had stated that there was some kind of inappropriate sexual relationships with her when she was underage. Now, by Scott Baio. Now, since Virgo, of course, I see this as being connected with very scrupulous energy. Now, perhaps the negative manifestation of this degree, and just Virgo energy in general, could be situations connected with rather unscrupulous behavior, or at least accusations of such. Now, However, this was never proven, and Scott Baio had apparently come up with something that he showed that she was giving conflicting stories regarding the time when this liaisons or interludes, whatever happened, and Scott Baio vehemently denies it, of course, and he states that it was a one-time encounter, supposedly, where it was just at a time when she actually was of legal age. But anyway, now another thing another example. Okay, Winston Churchill had his ascendant at 29 degrees Virgo. Now, many of you may know he dealt with a multitude of health issues during his life. However, he became very prolific. I mean, he was very, a verbose, eloquent writer and speaker, I'm sure. And I'm sure with Virgo at 29 degrees on the ascendant, I'm sure he did this with exceptional, meticulous attention to detail. Now, last person I want to talk about one other celebrity. This is very interesting. That has that had 29 degrees Virgo in prominent in his chart. 29 degrees Moon in Virgo. Actor John Hillerman, many of you may remember him. He played Higgins on Magnum PI. 29 degrees Virgo Moon. Now on the show, on that role, he played somebody that I felt was very fastidious and persnickety character. Now those traits can be synonymous with the zodiac sign Virgo. Now I've talked about previously, I'll talk about it again though, that I do believe that many actors and actresses can consciously, in some cases perhaps on a subconscious level, be drawn to roles that correspond with their astrological energies. I think John Hillerman is certainly no exception. And he is, this was somebody I felt, it's interesting because when I look at, when you look at people and astrology, generally, you talk about the ascendant being the first impression, right? That's the outer demeanor. Those are qualities and characteristics that are outwardly, blatantly expressed, and often we will guess the person's ascendant when we see them. But the thing about it is, I think in this case, okay, John Hillerman had Gemini rising, so that should have been that first thing that I saw with him. But it's interesting, I actually guessed Virgo. I was watching the show Magnum PI with a prominent family member. We both concur. We were thinking he had, I guess we were thinking he either had the sun or maybe even the ascendant in Virgo. Well, what I'm getting at, though, is that perhaps the reason I saw this energy so strongly because it was at 29 degrees Virgo. What I see is the full culmination of the zodiac sign. Also was in the 5th house of entertainment, which could be like acting. And this is maybe why, this could be seen very readily in an acting role with him, coupled with the fact that 29 degrees Moon in Virgo makes a conjunction to Jupiter in his natal chart. And Jupiter, of course, can, as I've talked about before, Jupiter can be very benign and benevolent, but it could also have a tendency to enlarge and expand. And I think that conjunction perhaps expanded the Virgo qualities. And even Jupiter in Virgo by itself can give expanded Virgo energy. So there you go. So anyway, people, that concludes this YouTube astrological segment for 29 degrees Virgo. Stay tuned next time where I'm going to be talking about what I'm going to want to be talking about in the next segment is going to be 29 degrees Libra. Two things I want to get with you on before I head out. Firstly, the stars may impel, but do not compel. And secondly, never isolate any single astrological element, aspect, planetary placement, position, configuration, influence, or what have you, and make an analysis of a person, astrologically speaking, based on this alone, because astrologically speaking, the person is the sum of all their components in their natal chart and not just one. Until next time, people, stay well.